I know a little bit about it, but not that much. It certainly has a bad aura to it. It's the kind of thing where you don't know what the, where the government's probably gathering up a lot of information it shouldn't be having, especially the military. But to go to your first comment on the terrorist watch list, I think the list right now is up to about 900,000 names. And again, most of them are not terrorists. And there are questions about what is the standard for putting someone on that list. And it's very likely there's a lot of people being put on that list simply because someone didn't like them. I mean, it's almost like the old, it might be getting towards the old system they had in Bucharest under Ceausescu, where it was easy for someone to, finger their neighbor and make any kind of nonsense report, and all of a sudden that person is targeted. Because being on the terrorist watch list, it causes problems. If you travel, it could cause troubles with your bank account. It could do a lot of things to mess up your life. And yet, aside from a handful of liberals, very few people have really put their shoulders behind this issue. But that's a great example, and I appreciate you telling us. Thanks for your courage in speaking up on that.
One more question.
One more, okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the informative talk.
Sure, thanks.
First thing, I'm an engineer in the space industry, and I like to paint an even more bleaker picture than you do. I work on I work in scientific. I work in the scientific community.
Okay, sure.
Not on black projects, but I know people that do.
Okay.
And they can't tell me what they do, or they'll have to kill me, and I'm here. So.
Okay.
But anyway, when I talk to these people and I kind of relay my concerns to them, they look at me like with an air to, hey, you know what you're talking about. But they can't say, they can't nod. They just, their eyes tell, tell everything. So I think in my discussions with these people, all the electronic communications go through the alphabet agencies, period. So we're in a much bleaker, I think, circumstance as a country. And these are people that I trust. So I'm frightened of my government, and we shouldn't be.
Yeah. And
as an individual, I don't know what to do, but hopefully I'm talking to friends and informing people. But it is almost to me, it's like we're in a fascist regime. We're near like Stasi type mentality in the East German Stasi. It's extraordinary that we've gone this far. And wait, one more.
I'm sorry, sure. Go ahead.
And I hail from Pittsburgh originally, and I remember we had a lot of World War II vets around.
Sure.
And I was 7 years old in my neighborhood. We had the World War II vet that befriended me. He was a really nice gentleman, kept to himself, grew a garden, but he befriended me. He said, if there's one thing, we got to be friends over 3 or 4 months, but he said, if there's one thing you could do for me, he said, is not to give away your freedom.
Wow.
He said, not to give away your freedom. And
that's great.
And he's had his friends cut in half for us to be free. And we're just handed this over. And I think a lot of people are frightened.
Yeah.
And I think we shouldn't be.
That's a great, I mean, people need to have courage. That's a great point. Don't give away your freedom. Have the courage to not bow down when the government tells you to be frightened on cue. But I'm getting signs telling me to stop, so I'll draw the curtain of mercy here. Thanks for being such a great audience.